Hello everyone and welcome to another Cheeky Scientist training. I'm Isaiah Henkel and today we're talking about the new rules of industry resumes, Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and again at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are doing a live webinar on the new rules of industry resumes. I'm going to talk about a couple of things here, but if you want to see the full presentation, go to phdsgethired.com, sign up there on that page, and you'll be sent all of our information for the free training tomorrow. It's a free 1-hour webinar training live at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow and again at 9 p.m. Eastern. So what we're going to talk about here is really the 3 critical factors to include in every resume bullet point. So you should know by now that your industry resume needs to be quite a bit different than an academic CV. At most, you want it to be 2 pages, okay? And instead of having your education at the top and your publication list thereafter, you need to instead have a professional summary at the top, talk about your work experience first, and then after that, you can add your education and maybe some of your top publications. But your resume is very different from an academic CV. Now, a couple of things to pay attention to first are these numbers, right? You see this? This is the 10 to 25% rule. We have a lot of recruiters, a lot of talent acquisition specialists within our Cheeky Scientist network, and across the board, on average, they say that they only look at the first 10 to 25% of the resumes that come in, right? This is why we say, you know what, you need to start getting job referrals. You can't rely just on resumes, because unless you're uploading your resume in the first day or 2, it's not even going to be read. And even if you do upload it, it's likely going to be filtered out by applicant tracking systems. That being said, you can still get your resume in front of employers, but you want to make sure your resume is designed perfectly when you do get it in front of employers, because it's hard to do and because employers only spend 5 to 7 seconds reading each resume. So just remember this 10 to 25% rule, and also remember this 80 to 20% ratio. Okay, 80% of all jobs are not posted online. So to get those jobs, you need to network, get a job referral, and hand your resume to an actual person, or of course email them directly. You can't just be uploading resumes to job sites to the remaining 20% because a lot of those jobs are already taken and the job posting's just still there. So you need to get your resume in the hands of employers. We're going to talk about how to do that tomorrow during our free webinar training. Again, go to phdsgethired.com, sign up there. You'll get all the information for the free training tomorrow on resumes. Here though, we want to talk about how to structure your resume's bullet points. An industry resume should only be 2 pages, should start with a professional summary at the top, and then go into your work history. This is what employers care about. And each bullet point should have 3 things. First and foremost, a transferable skill. Now, why do we call this the new rules of resumes? Because in the past, and you've probably heard this yourself, people would say getting hired comes down to putting in action verbs in your resume, right? Words like maximum or strong or whatever they might be, as if somebody's going to hire you for a PhD level position based on your usage of action verbs. All right, that's an old rule. It's not the case. It's certainly not the case for PhD positions. For PhD level positions, they know you have a PhD, they know you have technical skills. What they want to see is, do you have transferable skills? Can you work as a team? Do you have leadership skills? Do you have market knowledge? Have you used any of that company's products before? Do you understand the market landscape? Do you understand current industry trends? We're going to talk a lot about transferable skills tomorrow during the free webinar, but for here's a couple of examples. Strong leadership skills, very simple example. Adept in XYZ industry trends. You're in a particular industry, which means you probably understand the landscape of that industry and the trends. If not, you need to understand it, especially before you start applying. And you should communicate your understanding of the industry in your resume. That's an important transferable skill. And that's how every bullet point in your resume should start, with a transferable skill. It's the most important thing employers are looking for, especially the first people who are going to see your resume. The first people to see your resume are not going to be CEOs, right? They're not going to be the heads of departments. They're going to be hiring managers, employers, people most often without PhDs, and certainly people who don't have the same in-depth knowledge of your specific field. Another example, market knowledge in XYZ. These are transferable skills. So each bullet point should start with a transferable skill and then should move to your technical experience, right? Your technical experience sits in the middle of this sandwich that we're making, okay? And we'll come back to it in a minute, but this is the easiest part for PhDs, right? You have lots of technical skills. You can talk about how you've optimized technologies, optimized methodologies, invented new methodologies, discoveries. Managing research professionals is one that almost every PhD can use. Remember to use the language of industry. Don't say managing graduate students, say managing research professionals, training research professionals, training XYZ professionals, overseeing XYZ collaborations, right? Any technical experience that you have, that's the glue that's going to hold these three things together. And the last of the three is a quantified result. Way down here, if you can't read it, it's quantified result. You want every bullet point to end in resulting in, as evidenced by, as demonstrated by, and then a number, right? People's eyes stop on numbers. Eye tracking studies have shown that employers look at numbers when they're skimming a resume. Remember, they only spend 5 to 7 seconds on a resume, so the more numbers you have, the better, because their eyes are going to stop on them automatically. Some simple examples can be resulting in XYZ publications, resulting in 2 new methodologies, resulting in XYZ discovery, resulting in 1.5 million in grant funding. Okay, so overall, if you bring all of these three things together, a real simple example could be, a knowledgeable innovator, there's your transferable skill, with experience managing research professionals on XYZ projects, right, resulting in 1.5 million in grant funding and 8 publications. There's a bullet point. And that's a beautiful bullet point to put in your professional summary. Okay, so this is how you need to start thinking about your resume. You need to get all of your bullet points in place, create a resume that can be tweaked and targeted for each individual position, and then start going out there and looking for job referrals. If you want to learn more about this, again, we have a free webinar training, a 1-hour in-depth training tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's August 3rd, and then again at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's the new rules of creating an industry resume for 2017, not rules that people were following last year or 5 years ago. And it's specifically for PhDs. A couple of other things that we talked about that we're going to go into depth on tomorrow is how to use your publications, why you need to leave them off most of the time, especially the works cited section. There's not a hiring manager out there that wants a works cited section on the first page of your resume. Now, depending on the position, of course, you could add your resumes on a separate pieces of paper. It depends on the position, but most often you want to use your resumes instead by highlighting them in your professional summary. Again, going back to the example we used where you said resulting in 3 publications, including a Nature publication. So these are the kind of things we're going to talk about. These are the new rules we're going to go into tomorrow. So go to phdsgethired.com. If you sign up there, you'll get all the information to join tomorrow's webinar for free. So we'll see you next time at another Cheeky Scientist training.